So as far as, like, learning other things with, like, gaming, are you talking about, like, learning more technical aspects of building games, or, like, what
Um,
specifically in the games are you trying to, like, think you
well,
wanna acquire
yeah,
skill-wise?
over the course of Plantasia, I've kind of because it's my first game project and I wasn't, in the industry for very long, so I didn't know like what kind of designer I was or what kind of games I really wanted to make. And over
Mhm.
the course of Plantasia, I think I've narrowed down that I the games I want to make are games targeted towards women, PC games targeted towards women,
Mm.
and very specifically cozy non-combat games. Uh,
Mm.
so I play a lot of games, and the vast majority of games have some sort of combat. And I've just never been a combat fan. I
Mm.
just don't get it, and it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy games that have no combat, but even the coziest of games like Stardew Valley have some form
Mm.
of combat, and that's where I kind of get stuck with progression is because I just don't want to figure out how weapons work or how to fight this one guy very specifically that is different than this other one random guy?
Mm.
Um, and so I want like really non-combat games, but at the same time, like I really like certain game formats like roguelikes or, like Diablo.
Mhm.
I love Diablo, even though it's all
Mhm.
combat. I
I was
love
saying
the
that's all
yeah, it's all
combat.
combat. But I love like the roguelike system and the RPG system and stuff like that. So I want to make PC games that kind of, redefine the genres that we're all really aware of in a way that
Mhm.
doesn't require combat, yet is still, like, very engaging and complex and interesting. I don't know how that's gonna work yet, um, but that's what I want to do, and so I know that, my audience is gonna be, women, me, like, women my age, right? Um,
Yeah.
and so and for the PC, but I also know that the vast majority of women gamers are entirely on mobile, which
Mm.
frustrates me
That's
because
interesting.
I'm an infamous mobile hater. Which no shade to anyone who plays mobile or designs mobile. I just personally am not a mobile fan. Um, but I know that if I want to fully reach the audience that I intend, I'm going to need to learn how to do mobile.
Mhm.
So a game project that I will probably do in the future is a mobile game to figure it out, to learn it,
Mm.
to learn how to develop on it, how to build a team around it, what mobile looks like. So that way, when I do make the PC games that I want to make, I'm able to make them into a mobile version as well. That probably isn't traditionally mobile because I don't like traditional mobile, but
Mhm.
at least works and functions well on mobile, and it might bring those players from mobile onto PC, which is my kind of selfish end goal. Is I want to take away the women from the mobile and put them on PC because I just think PC is so much better. So
Well, it's actually well, I mean, when you say mobile, you're talking about, like, phones, or are you talking about, like, handhelds, or is it, like,
no,
all of the
phone,
above?
like phones. Yeah.
Phones?
Yeah.
Well, what's funny about that is, like, I end up playing a ton of PC games on my phone because I'll do, like, whatever, the Steam Link thing or whatever, so I have, like, a controller that hooks up into it,
Oh,
and so,
nice.
like,
Oh, wow.
I kinda,
I have a
like,
Steam
get the
Deck.
most of what's oh, you have Steam Deck?
Yeah,
Okay.
Steam Deck.
That was, like I really
I didn't
wanted
even
a
know you could
Steam
do that.
Deck, like, when it first came out, I was so super stoked, I was like, because anytime Steam peddles some garbage, like, thing that you could buy, I typically would buy it, but, like, it just I don't know, for some reason, I didn't get it, probably because I was too distracted with my kids,
Fair.
but had the app or whatever on the phone, and then I ended up getting this controller that's, like, phenomenal, it's so good,
I didn't even
and
know
I
that.
just, like, can plug it in. I don't even know if I have it around me, but either way, it's like it plugs in, it's, like, so perfect, and it
Very
literally
cool.
feels like a Steam Deck, and I'm like, "This thing is
Oh,
phenomenal," and I just stream, basically, I just stream my games to my phone, and
oh,
I play, like, all of Armored Core 6 basically like that, and,
oh.
yeah,
That's super
but
cool.
it's
Yeah, I
funny
have a
that you
Steam
said
Deck, and it's like it's I just wanted to be able to play my PC games not on PC because sometimes I go through, like, couch phases where I'm just not on my
yes.
PC at all. Um,
Mhm.
I'm still not very good at, like, controller games. It's just I'm just PC girl all the way through.
Mm.
So it's more like I have specific games that I only play on the
Mhm.
Steam Deck so that I don't have to, like,
Mhm.
relearn the controls because I'm always gonna
Mhm.
prefer the mouse and keyboard. So if I play
Yeah.
it on my PC, it ruins it for the Steam Deck. So I
Yeah.
can only play so it didn't work out as much as I really wanted it to, but,
Yeah.
I don't play it too much, but I like having it. I like the option.
Mhm. yeah, exactly, the option of being like, "I'm gonna sit on the couch today."
Yeah.
There's specifically games, there's like, for instance, when Elden Ring came out,
Mhm.
on the PC and there was a bunch of people playing it with mouse and keyboard, I was like, "You're a lunatic. How do you do that?" I'm like, "What's wrong
Yeah.
with you?" I'm like, "'Cause I only played it, obviously, when it came out, Demon Souls and then Dark Souls, all of those afterwards, and so seeing people play it on mouse and keyboard, I'm like, "You're like a psychopath. How do you do this?" And so like, it was just one of the same thing with Armored Core. I was like, "I cannot play that game with the mouse and keyboard. It has to be controller,"
It's so
even though I
funny.
know you're probably functioning a little bit better. But then flip the switch, I cannot play a shooter with controller, cannot do it.
Yeah. No,
Anything
I
that I
did
have to aim, forget about it. It will not
no, mouse
happen.
and
It's
keyboard is so
just
much better.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I did the same thing with my husband when I met him. Like, he's a big gamer, he plays on PC and console, but
Mhm.
he would almost exclusively use a controller on PC as well. Um,
Mm,
and, uh, he played Apex for, like, a really long time. Um,
mm,
and, they have that, like, auto aim helper thing, when you're
yeah.
in a controller, and
Mhm.
so I just, like, made fun of him for not actually being good. Until he was like, "Fine, I'll try out the mouse and keyboard," and then he was really bad at it for a while, but now
Yeah.
he's playing Deadlock now, and, he hasn't used a controller in a really long time, so
Oh,
I
wow.
successfully have a so if I can get
Converted.
him from a controller to a mouse and keyboard, I can get women from phones to PC.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I mean, it is an uphill battle because I think about my wife and she's all about, like, handheld. She has whatever, the
Yeah.
Switch and, she'll play the Switch on her handheld, and, like, I think it's also, like, she's always doing, like I could sit here and focus and just play a game for not so much anymore, but when I was
Yeah.
younger, I definitely could, but, I could just sit there and play games, but I don't know, it's just, like, something about, like, the convenience or the casualness of picking it up and putting it down, picking it up and putting it down,
Oh my
I
god,
think she
yeah.
just really likes, and she's obsessed, she likes that, which one is it? Crap.
Animal Crossing.
That Disney one, the
Disney
cozy Disney
Dreamlight
one.
Valley.
That's the one, yeah,
I played
she's
that when it first came out.
freaking she plays the crap out of that
It's a
one.
pretty good one.
She
It's pretty
also
good. I'm
likes
not as into Disney as a lot of people, and so I played it for a while. I
mm,
did like it. It was a good game, but I just kinda lost interest after a while because 'cause I'm not, like, super obsessed with Disney.
mm,
I as I
yeah,
get older, I definitely understand, like, I want a tablet so bad so I can
mm,
just sit on my couch and play, like, stupid games. Um,
yeah,
like Infinity Nikki, but on not my phone because it's such
mm,
shit, so small on my phone, but on a
yeah,
tablet, it'd be, like, a little bit better, and it's just a cozy game, you know? So I have, like understand the girlies now more who are fully on their Nintendo Switch or mobile.
yeah,
I still
yeah.
want them on PC because PC is still so much better,
Oh, yeah,
in my opinion, right?
yeah.
But I definitely get it now, and so, like, the Nintendo Switch is something that, it's a learning experience that I need as well. I need to learn how to
Mhm,
port to Switch, which I know is famously difficult and terrible. So,
mhm,
not really looking forward to that at all. Um,
yeah,
but I do want them on a mobile or on PC, but I'm also, like, trying to think of I have this gaming chair, and it's old, it's super messed up. You can't even see, like, the bottom of it is
mhm,
really messed up because my cat just tore it apart when we first adopted
yeah,
him. Um, but I'm, like, trying to think of how can I get a chair that still wheels around because I think that's very important,
mhm,
but is, like, really comfy cozy, like
yeah,
a lounge chair that's, like, super plush, but still has the maneuverability of, like, a wheelchair. I think
yeah,
I'm gonna have to, like, build it, um,
yeah.
but I want it really bad, so I can just be, like, cozy, you know?
I can see that being really popular for sure.
I know.
I'm using some, like, hand-me-down terrible chair, but that one tried to kill me, and so now it's been shunned into the corner.
It's fair.
Um, but, shoot, I was gonna say something. Man, what was it? Oh,
This chair is a
as far as
hand-me-down
getting
from my
women
husband.
yes, that one is? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
As far as, uh, women moving over a PC, I was just gonna say that, like, my wife went to the dark side. She has a Mac, so I've lost all hope of her ever trying to get anything to play on the computer, so I was just like, "You know
Bummer.
what? Forget it."
God, why do they
To
do
be
that?
fair, she wore me down over, like, 10 years, just, like,
Mhm,
wanted a MacBook, wanted a MacBook, wanted a Mac she's not a big, huge gamer anyway, she prefers
mhm.
to play lightly on, like, the Switch or
Yeah.
something like that, but, eventually, I was just like, "You know what? Screw it. Just freaking get it. I can't take it anymore." And it, like, killed me because 'cause I've been in IT for, like, 15 years. So, like,
Oh
I was just like,
god.
Don't do it. Please, God, don't do it."
Please,
But
God.
It
I
was
feel the
just,
same way. I have such strong opinions for no reason. I also hate Macs. I just hate Apple in general, right?
mm,
But Macs are rough. But again, that's another thing. Like I know that a lot of women are on Macs.
mhm,
And thankfully, Plantasia actually will be on Mac when we do final
mm,
release. So this is a scoop for you. I don't know if we've actually publicly said this. Not that we're hiding it. I just think we haven't mentioned it. Um,
yeah,
our my programmer has been working on a Mac build over the past several months,
mhm.
and we could release it now, but I don't want to because, Apple charges, like, $99 a year or something, to have your
What?
game, like, verified or something on their platform, I guess. I don't really super know. So I'm just gonna wait until we're at final release, and then that's at, like, in the beginning of July-ish, and, then we'll just release the Mac version with it, and then I'll pay that $99 a year then,
Yeah.
to kind of
Is
maximize
that
the
for
amount of
the
time.
App Store or is I mean, I don't spend enough time on apps,
I
so I don't
don't
know how that
know. I
or
think
Apple, I don't know how that all
I
works.
don't know. I don't know. I think it's different for the App Store. I think it's like I don't know. My programmer has been dealing with all of this because she's great. She told me it's
Uh-huh.
$99 a year, and I trust her.
That's
Don't know
crazy.
really the details of that though.
That's
But I know it's
crazy,
like
man,
to
that
be
sucks.
verified. Like you can put your game without that on a Mac, but it'll like be harder for people to download it because they'll be like, this isn't a trusted
Oh,
program.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I hate apps, or I hate apps. I
Apple.
hate
Apple.
Apple.
Yeah. It's you.
Yeah, it's well, and I think I'm just like 97 at the in my heart because it's just like for some reason I just cannot get behind them. We don't have to go down that huge
Oh, they
rabbit hole,
suck.
but just
They're
like
the worst.
working in IT for so long, like I've been in
Yeah, well, they
IT for so
deliberately
long.
try to make their
Yes, they
stuff
deliberately,
replaceable.
that's the
Yeah,
best word. They deliberately try to make things more difficult for you,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
it drives me up a wall.
Yeah,
And then people are like, "I
right there
have a
with you.
Mac," and I'm like, "Ah, fucking kill me."
Yeah, I'm honestly so there with you. Yeah, Apple, Apple. I hate Apple. I'm a huge PC master race person all the way. Like I have
Oh, yeah.
consoles and stuff. It's just I'm not good at controller, and so
Mm,
they make me angry. Um, I know I have, Fable. The Fable series is one of my favorite,
mm,
game
mhm,
series, and the first one is on PC, but the next
mm,
2, which are my favorite ones that I played growing up, are not. They're
mhm.
exclusively on Xbox, and we don't even play
That's
Xbox anymore. We have a PlayStation that we play, well, that my husband plays, and then the PC, right? And they're just not on those things, and so I have to have
ugh,
an Xbox. I have an Xbox just, like, in the house somewhere, so that if I ever wanna play Fable, I am able to. Um, and that's the only reason I have an Xbox.
the first one was my favorite one anyway.
Yeah, it's a good one, it's a good one, but I grew up playing the 2nd and the 3rd one, so the 2nd one's my
Mm,
favorite one. Um,
mm.
but they are coming out with a new one that should be on PC, I think, so that'll be cool.
Oh, yeah,
Not by the
that's right,
same
I
people,
forgot about
though.
the new one.
Yeah, but it's not
What's
by the
that?
same people. It's not by the same people.
Oh,
It's a different
it's
company.
not even what's his name? Peter no, who made
I don't
those?
know.
What's his
I
name?
don't know names.
He's some weirdo, but he made the black and white series and all that stuff too, I forget his name.
Yeah,
But is
I
it not
know.
the
I
same
think
guy that made
no,
these
I
ones
think the
either?
company Lionsgate, I think they, like, shut down.
Oh, shit.
So the IP went somewhere else somehow. So
Yeah.
hopefully it's
This is
good.
what's fun about doing this show is, like, I've been playing games, like, my whole life and, like, been paying attention to this stuff for so long, but, like, when it comes to actually, like, the industry stuff, I'm, like, so ignorant to it. Like,
No,
I
me
have no
too.
idea what the hell's going on back there. So, like, when I do this show and I talk to certain people and they tell me things, I'm like, "Oh, fuck, I don't know. I have no
I've
idea."
I'm glad I have some knowledge to, like, share because I feel the same way, and I'm very new to the industry, but I'm also my memory, just in my natural memory is just really, really bad, and especially when
Mm,
it comes to, like, pronouns, like names or titles,
mm,
so I'm really bad at, like, remembering actual important things that are happening in the industry, I guess I just really like Fable, so I kind of know what's happening there, or like
mhm,
BioShock, I really like BioShock, so I kind of know what's happening there,
mhm, mhm.
but other than that, like, I don't know anything about anything. I'm very slowly learning thanks to just scrolling LinkedIn. That's really how I'm learning.
Yeah. Yeah, then I'm actually kinda curious. So, like, you started off well, you somehow you moved to San Diego and you were an English teacher,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
now and then somehow we found our way into starting Cave Bear, getting a following, like, I'm kinda curious on that journey, like, how did that how'd we
Um,
get there?
I just kinda tripped and stumbled my way, uphill, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I moved to San Diego because I wanted to be someplace warm, and I had kind of been, doing the whole it's something I've done my entire life, is like the grass is
Mm,
always greener, on the other side.
mhm.
And so I had gotten in my head that SoCal was like the grass is greener over there. Which to be fair, it
The
is
weather
because I
is.
lived in
The weather is
Colorado. Yeah,
100% better.
like the grass literally is greener here. But I was born in South Florida, so I was, my body likes the warmth.
Mm,
And Colorado was not warm,
mm-mm,
for a good part of the year. So yeah, I moved to San Diego with pretty much no plan. I knew I had one friend who had moved out here for work.
mhm,
So that was nice. And then I had met my now husband slightly before I moved. I visited California because I hadn't been, but I was planning on moving.
mhm,
And I met him while I was visiting. So I finished my degree out here in
mhm,
Oceanside, my teaching degree by in my last semester of the practicum. They require you to be in a school for the whole
mm,
semester, and so I was in Oceanside High, for that final semester, because you could pick whatever school, you wanted as long as they let you come, and they did, so that was
mm,
nice. So I was in Oceanside there, and then, I was very lucky to get a job, um, right out of college. Well, it kind of right out of college. I started working with a company, as, like, an online tutor kind of teacher thing. So,
mm,
besides my last semester of college, I haven't been I wasn't a traditional teacher. I was always, like, either online or something. Um,
mm,
and then I ended up getting kind of promoted in that company and working with them full time.
mhm,
And it was fine. Like, I was good at my job. It was nice. I liked them, I liked their mission. I liked what they did. Uh, but I knew for a while that teaching, even in school before I finished my degree, that teaching wasn't what I wanted to do. I just didn't know,
mhm.
because why are we asking 18-year-old children what they wanna do the rest of their life? How are they
Great,
supposed to
that's
know
a
that?
phenomenal question.
The
That's
crazy
the right
thing.
question.
Yeah, so, I knew I could do it, and I was, doing it. I just didn't love it, and after a while, I was there for, like, 2.5 years or something, I don't remember, and I just was looking for pretty much any excuse to leave. And it was during the very beginning of the SAG-AFTRA strikes in Hollywood. And
Mm,
I was just talking with some friends because, like, some shows that I was watching were like delayed or whatever because of
mhm,
the protests. And I was like, "Oh, man, I hope they don't stop writing video games like they've stopped writing movies," because I was really
mm,
worried that video games would stop coming out. And that's
mm.
kind of when it clicked for me that someone is writing games, and maybe
Oh,
not just coding them, that maybe there is a
mhm,
writer involved and I don't have to know how to code. Um, so I looked it up, and yeah, like, narrative designer existed.
mhm,
That was pretty much all I needed. I'm very much a person who just kinda does stuff without thinking
mm,
about it very long.
mhm.
Um, and it's worked out for me so far, so that's good. Um, but yeah, I figured with my writing background, I would be able to get a job pretty easily. So I quit and
Mm,
then joined the industry, and then
mm,
obviously very quickly realized I would not be able to find a job anytime soon. Likely within probably at least 2 years was what I was
mm,
looking at. Um, but I was pretty determined I wanted to do this, and I wanted to just know what it felt like to make a game before I quit entirely and got a new job somewhere else. Um,
mhm,
and I learned too that, like, that's what they wanted to see, the hiring managers, they wanted to see a published game. And
mhm,
so after a while, I was in the game design skills community, the Funsmith Club. That's where I started before even LinkedIn. Um, and I was making friends in that community, and I was, learning game design and narrative design. Uh, Sorry, my cat is she's gone. Um, and eventually I had a game idea that I thought was actually pretty good, and I thought
mhm.
it was, like, marketable and relevant. And some people agreed with me, and they joined my project and had a core team, and I was just thinking it was gonna be like a portfolio project, just something that we're
Right.
doing, pretty quickly. I wanted, like, a 6-month timeline. I didn't want anything very long. Um, and that was the goal, and that kind of remains the goal. But by that point, I was kind of getting on LinkedIn a bit, and I did realize the
Mhm,
importance of networking, and so I said, "We should be
mhm.
documenting this publicly as we go along. It will
Yeah.
help us in the job search and the portfolio and stuff." Uh, so I made a company page for the team, which they let me. They were like, "What do you want to call it?" And I was like, "Well, Cave Bear Games." And they're like, "Cool, it's your thing." I'm like, "Okay, great." Um, so I launched on
Wait, so hold
LinkedIn.
on real quick. So cave
Yeah.
bear, why cave bear games?
So my name, Ayla, is from a book called Clan of
Okay.
the Cave Bears. So
Okay.
that pretty
There you go.
pretty easy
I just had
connection.
to know. I was curious. I'm like, how do you
Yeah.
come up with cave bear games? I'm like,
Yeah. And so yeah, it's just my name pretty much. So I launched on LinkedIn and I said, I just bullshitted some thing that sounded good. And I said,
yeah,
we're a studio buy-in for juniors in the games industry because we were all juniors. And I didn't really think too much of it. Just like, yeah, we're juniors, so this sounds good. People really liked that. And it went viral.
wow.
And we gained like 2,000 followers overnight. And now we have, a year later, we have 30,000 followers on LinkedIn on the company
Wow.
page. Um, and so, yeah, it just kind of snowballed really. And that's when I realized as well that like, oh, if we have this attention now, we have these eyes on us, like we can utilize that. Um,
Yeah.
and so we kind of expanded our scope and our team and, you know, changed some things and now we're here. Yeah.
Wow. So how is the that aspect translated into, I guess, success with Plantasia? How are we with Plantasia success? Like, has that been like a good translation to saying, "Oh wow, yeah, this really worked," or is it kind of like, it did okay?
It did okay. It did okay.
Yeah,
I mean, certainly, the studio is well known now within the industry,
yeah,
which is amazing, and I'm pretty well known in the industry now, which is phenomenal. Very,
yeah,
very cool. Um, but, we have 30,000 followers on LinkedIn. I have
yeah.
12,000 on my own personal page, and we've sold 300 copies of Plantation. So,
Wow.
and the thing is, like, without our LinkedIn following, without the support of the people on
Mhm,
LinkedIn who support me and support the team, we wouldn't have
mhm.
gotten to that 300 at all. I'm
Right.
sure that the vast majority of that 300 came from the supporters on LinkedIn. So I'm very
Mm,
grateful that we have succeeded past what a lot of first time indie games release it or do at all ever. Um,
right.
so I'm very happy about that, but at the same time, it's definitely like going viral on LinkedIn isn't gonna help your game,
Yeah.
It's gonna help your studio, your image, which is great, and that can help you in the long run, it's not gonna help
Mhm.
your game because, devs technically aren't gamers, like, they are, of course, but they're
Right,
not your audience, right? They're not the audience that you're looking
right.
for, and so you do have to market, outside of that. Uh,
Yeah.
it's hard.
That's like one of the most difficult things is just like, because I don't know if you know much about me, but I'm also, first time dev trying to make our own game type of thing. It's kind of like the essence of why I even started this whole show to begin with. Because we had 0 eyeballs on our game. We did a play test and like nobody played it, and we're just like, "Oh shit, nobody knows who
Yeah,
the hell we are. Guys, we
yeah,
gotta do something else." So it's me and like 4 other guys as well working on it, and basically I was like, "Dude, I have this idea. I'll just see if it works. It may not, it may do terribly, but, I gotta shoot my shot essentially." But it's just basically the same kinda thing though. What I've built with this doesn't 100% translate into what is successful for the game or works for the game. And so it's kinda like, yeah, but you do what you can. You try to shoot what you can and see what
yeah,
comes up, and yeah, it's interesting for sure. It's very, very interesting to see, I guess just the journey of, like, getting a following, but, like, also not seeing that, you know, go into the, I guess, sales of the game because you're right, I guess devs aren't they won't
yeah.
devs won't buy your game, which
No,
is
even though it's only
ridiculous.
$5, please. No, yeah, devs don't translate the same. So, if you're targeting devs, which our whole audience is developers, junior
Mm,
or otherwise, our whole audience just for our studio is devs. Um, yeah, that doesn't necessarily transfer to game sales at all. Um,
mhm,
I'm grateful, obviously, but I'm grateful because it does help me in the long run, which is what I am doing is I'm
mm,
trying to play the long game because I have the
yeah,
freedom to do that. I have a husband right now who's paying the bills, and then, I'm gonna be teaching for a year, which will be paying the bills. So I have some freedom there to like
yeah.
explore and learn before I actually have to start making money, which I'm very lucky and grateful for.
Mhm,
So, it helps me in the long run to get my studio name out there. and to like kind of make waves like I've been doing. But honestly, the vast majority of the success has come from the partner program that I'm running through the studio,
Mhm.
rather than the game, which is unfortunate. But also, I'm happy as well. So it's like a bittersweet kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I would love it if people played the game because I think it's really cool and unique and fun. But it's fine. It's all right.
It is super unique. I'm gonna be honest, I never thought or saw anything like it before, and I
Great.
was like, "What is" like, when I first was, like, looking it up, I'm like, "I don't understand. Why is it half screened?"
Yeah,
Like,
we
seriously,
get that a
straight up
lot.
looking at it. Yeah, I was like, "I don't understand what's going why is she typing in the background while the game is on?" Like, it took me a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, it's a dock." Like, it sits there and you get to basically passively, sometimes actively do things while you're working and stuff like that. Great for, like, remote work if you have various tasks or something like that, or, like, if you're, like, a help desk person for sure. You could sit there and just sit on the phone and, like, zone out type
Yeah,
of thing and play it.
exactly. I want it's like, it's meant to be a game that you play while you work, and I want employers to understand that it is actually helpful to your work and not like a
Mm,
distraction. Um, but we also, it's unique. We weren't the first ones to do it. Rusty's retirement was the first one to pioneer that whole kind of bottom of the screen portion of the screen
mm,
thing, and they released last year. But there are a dozen or more games in development that are utilizing the same or aspect or further innovating upon it.
mhm,
You're actually not that special when it comes to some of them. Some of them are doing some really, really cool things with portion of the screen stuff.
mhm,
Um, but we focused really on the idle aspect specifically. I really wanted just this game to be there when you needed it. Um,
mhm.
but at the same time, it's kind of like a brand new thing, a brand new
Yeah,
genre. Um, and so it was really, really difficult. Marketing in general is so hard. Um,
yeah,
and especially for a tiny indie with no budget.
mhm,
And then we made it even harder by making a game that people don't immediately understand. We
yeah.
got bug reports of people being like, "It's bugged. It's only on the bottom of my screen."
Oh,
And I'm like,
jeez.
"It's literally supposed to do that." If you look at any of our promotional material, you'll be able to see that. Um, and so it's really hard to kind of teach players how to play a different type of game. Not only it being on the bottom of the screen, which is new, and so it's something that they have to learn and adapt to, but also because it's a game that very specifically does not require your attention 100% of the time. In fact,
Mhm,
there are large swaths of time where you can't do anything in the game, and you have to go do something else. And so that's a learning experience as well because pretty much every game in the world is demanding your attention 100% of the time that it's open. And so
mhm.
that's a learning experience too, of people being like, "Well, I don't know what to do right now." I'm like, "Well, there's nothing to do. Go do something else. Come back when
Yeah,
you're ready."
yeah,
And so that's difficult as well. So we definitely
yeah.
carved out a difficult little niche for ourselves. Um, but the learning experience has been great, and that has been the whole point in general. Like this was never about making a bunch of money or any
Mhm,
money at all. Um, it was always about learning,
mhm,
whatever we can learn. So we've
yeah.
achieved that, and that's what I'm very proud of.
Yeah. There's definitely an audience for it because, like, I think about, like, some of my past current and past clients, and not so much anymore, but back in the day when Facebook had, like, games and people would play those dumb Facebook games, the
Mhm.
amount of people I would catch just sitting there playing Facebook games all day long while they would be working, I'm like, "This is essentially, like, the same kind of vein."
Yeah,
You would instead of sitting on Facebook I don't remember those stupid games, but I remember they had a bunch
I
of, like.
remember Farmville. There was a
Yeah.
vampire one that I really liked, but I couldn't tell you the name of it.
Yeah, so I would, like, have to, like, rat people out essentially to their boss. I'm like, yo, what's his name, sitting here on
Rat.
this game for, like, 6 hours, you know what I
So
mean?
funny.
I'm like, "We gotta put some blocks up here. We gotta stop Facebook or something." But anyway, that's a huge digression, but I know in the workplace, especially if it can be used, productively or in a way that's, like, not, doesn't impede into actually your workload and stuff like that. I think also sorry, I can jump around, but I think also, like, the perception of what work is, isn't so much hours necessarily anymore, it's like task, in my opinion. Like,
I
it's like,
agree.
"Okay, what can you get done?" Like, "Well, I can get all this done in, like, 3 hours, but, still pay me 8." You know what I mean? Because it's like, just because I'm fast, I shouldn't be penalized.
Right. Yeah, I think well, first of all, because of COVID, the work day has shifted dramatically.
Mm,
And so there's a lot. obviously there's remote work, but I think that there's a lot more understanding of the work-life balance happening in
Mm,
America. It's actually something I'm very excited about with New Zealand is, work-life
mm,
balance is a cultural thing over there.
mm.
So I'm very excited about that. Whereas we have the hustle culture here in America.
Yeah.
And so I think we are very slowly as a society kind of moving towards a more work-life balance kind of thing and understanding, accessibility. I made Plantasia because I have ADHD and I can't sit at a fucking computer for 8 hours a day and do the same thing. Like I just can't do it.
Mm,
So Plantasia helps in a way that is not detrimental
mm,
to my actual workday. It's
mhm.
there when I need it. I can click a few buttons. Stopping about work for 10 minutes and then come back to my work kind of rejuvenated. Um,
Yeah,
and I think games are also because of COVID. COVID changed the world for sure. Um,
yeah.
Games are more important in people's lives and people are playing more games.
Mhm.
And they're looking for more ways to play games and more times to play games.
Yes.
Um, and I think the workday is a period of time in someone's day that is for right now relatively untouched by games. And we say that because you're working, you should be playing games while you're working, which of course I get it. Um, Mm, but I think it's also like a market that hasn't really
Yeah.
been touched yet. And so,
Mhm.
Plantasia might be one of the first, games to exist to try to get into that market, and I don't think we're gonna fully succeed there. We're tiny, little indie game that marketing is difficult, right? But I
Yeah.
do think we're already seeing these types of games, kind of boom right now. If you really look, there's over a dozen of these, portion screen games being developed right
Mm.
now. Um, a couple are out, many have demos, and, yeah, so we're not the only ones. We focus specifically on the, like, idle framework, which some of them are doing, some of them aren't, um, but I do think we are gonna see in the future a lot of these portion screen games happening, and it might not be the whole bottom of the screen. I've seen portion screen games where it's just a little fisherman on the side of your screen in a little
Mm.
box, and it just takes up this one kinda like Clippy, that paperclip
Okay,
from
yep.
Microsoft? Yeah, so
Clip.
stuff like that. Um, there's another, aquarium one that I know that is in development, uh, that is, using a dynamic, box, so where you can make it a little
Mm.
square in the corner of your screen, or you can make it a rectangle, or you can, like it you can
You
it's
can
a
move
box.
it
You can
essentially,
scale
yeah.
however you want, and it dynamically
Mhm.
adapts to whatever that size and shape is. So there are people out there doing some really, really cool things with the genre. I think it's definitely we're gonna see a lot more games in the workday space, in the near future. I'm happy to be a part of it in the beginning of it, I would love to be
Yeah,
more a part of it, but it's okay. It's fine. Someone else can have it.
yeah. It's interesting because I think you're totally right as far as just the landscape of work or what is defined as work in a way.
Mhm.
I think it's a generational thing too. I think,
Yeah, definitely.
people wanna find more meaning in the work they do. Like, I basically hated what I was doing, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do games, I guess."
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly,
mean?
exactly.
And, I had some phenomenal mentors when I was growing up, but it was like, they were boomers, boomer
Mhm.
generation and older. Not really older, I guess boomers are there's too many of them. But anyways, and so like, they're I learned really good things, but it's also just like you gotta find meaning in what you're doing, or else what's the point? What gets you through the day? What gets
Right.
you to wake up the next morning and be like, you know what? I'm excited to do this thing or whatever that I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And if it's like, shit, man, if it's a job you hate, I mean, how do you cope with that? We're not
No.
it's just it's rough out there, man, and so, like, yeah, I definitely think it's a generational thing, and we're definitely pushing that, I'm not sure what generation you are. I'm a millennial, so, like, pushing that generation and the Zoomers are definitely pushing even further as far as just saying, "Yo, I'm not doing this shit job anymore, and I get paid shit for it anyway, so why am I
Yeah,
gonna do it?"
exactly. No, I was, born in February of 1997, and the millennial generation ended on December 31st of 1996. So
Oh,
technically
wow.
I'm Gen Z, but I feel very, like, in the middle, millennial
Yeah.
and Gen Z. And yeah, that I definitely felt that kind of millennial hopelessness, especially throughout
Mm,
college, where I just didn't know what I was gonna do, and I didn't like
yeah.
the degree that I was in, and I was like, I can't imagine being unhappy for 8 hours a day every day for the rest of my
Oh
life,
my god.
I
Yeah.
didn't know what I was going to do, so I'm so happy that I found this, the game industry a lot quicker than I thought I would. I found it when I
Mm,
was 26, um,
mm,
which is later in life, I suppose, for some people, but
I
also
found it in
still early
38.
enough. Yeah, yeah, there you go. It's the
So,
perfect.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, so anyway, yeah, go sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm so like, I've never worked this much or this hard ever in my life,
Yeah,
and yet I have a great time doing it. Like, we're moving to New Zealand in a month, and my husband is like, "Please, God, stop working. Like, we have other stuff we need to do." I just gotta get
yeah.
everything done this month. Like, I promise, it's fine. I can handle
Oh
it. I can
god,
handle
yeah,
it. It's fine. Um,
yeah,
but like, I love doing it. I just have a great time.
yeah. No, for sure, that's I mean, and just circling back to what you're saying is, like, focusing on something for a long period of time is just, like, that if that work is meaningful, I mean, you can I mean, I have, I don't have ADHD, but I have ADD, so, like, I have that hyper focus.
They're the
Like, if I
same
get
now,
s
apparently.
what's that?
They're the same now.
Are
Everything
they?
is classified as ADHD, but you're either a hyperactive type or an inattentive type or both. I'm inattentive, so you might be hyperactive.
I think I was too young for them to diagnose me properly anyway. They just started
That's fair.
shoving Ritalin down my
You're a
throat.
kid.
So,
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
either way, but so like I can hyper focus on things. So like if I get into something really bad, I'm like, well, now I need to know everything about this,
Yeah.
obviously, and I will learn everything in probably 4 hours, you
Yeah.
know? And so like it drives my wife freaking crazy because
I'm
I'll just like it'll be the stupidest stuff. Like she lost it on me because I got stuck on this chopstick thing where like all the different cultures or Asian cultures have different chopsticks. Like Korea
Oh,
has like metal
oh,
chopsticks. Japan has like chopsticks, but they're a little bit perforated down at the bottom. Anyway, we
oh.
don't need to go down the chopstick rabbit hole. I already did this,
I love
but
that,
all different
actually.
cultures have different types of chopsticks and how they're formed or whatever.
That's
And
hilarious.
she was so mad. Well, I think it was right when we had our first kid too. So I'm sitting here on
Yeah.
before ChatGPT, but looked down the rabbit hole watching a documentary on just like, wait a
That's
second,
so
there's different
funny.
chopsticks. Look at all this stuff. And it's funny because I bring it up every so often.
That's
And
so
because she'll like
hilarious.
grab chopsticks. I was like, well, we're going to Korean barbecue, so they should have metal chopsticks. She's like,
I
shut
love
up. Just shut up. I was like,
That's so
okay.
funny. That's hilarious. I love chopsticks too. I've always been very jealous of the hyperactive type because I'm inattentive, and so I don't hyper focus really. My hyper
Mm,
focusing lasts like maybe a couple hours, and it's very rare. Whereas I know
mm.
with other people, they can be there the whole day doing one thing that they love, and
It's
I can't do it. I can't do it. It's a bummer. The only time I'm able to get really hyper focused is if I take some Adderall, but I don't medicate on a daily basis. It's just I don't
yeah.
know. Doesn't work for me that well. The side effects are too much for me. It's nice to be able to focus on one thing for 6 hours. It's so nice.
It's it's a curse and a blessing. It's
I
a curse
imagine.
because seriously, imagine an itch you can't scratch, and
Yeah.
so you cannot think about anything else. You're like, "I gotta know. I gotta
Yeah.
know." And especially with my wife, and I've managed it a little bit better just because of I think it's more just age. I just am more
Yeah. You
aware
learn.
of what's going on, and I don't let my impulses just completely run amok. But oh my god, sometimes it's just like, it's seriously, I won't sleep. I'll be, like, thinking about it. I'm like, "Well, what about this?" It'll just start going and
I do
going and
think
going.
about and
I'm
I
like,
will
"Dude, I
have
got" it's
nights
like
where I can't sleep because I can't stop thinking
yeah,
about it. I have to take, like, a
three
sleeping
o'clock
pill.
in the morning. I'm like, "I gotta sleep,
Yeah,
man."
it's
Like,
super
yeah,
terrible. It's I hate
yeah,
those happen to me rarely, but they do happen, and it's the worst, and I did manage to get, like a sleeping pill, prescription at one point. I don't have any anymore. I need to get some more, and that was really
yeah.
nice. That was really nice.
No, they say magnesium is like that's what you do now. You just take some magnesium because it's like
Really?
a little bit of a it's like a little bit of a muscle relaxer, so it just kinda, like,
Um,
chills you out. And it's, like,
maybe I'll
great for
try
you too. It's,
that.
like, good for your heart and all sorts of stuff or whatever,
You
yeah.
just I
I'm
have to
old now,
take
so I have to pay
2
attention to this
melatonins.
stuff.
I have to take double melatonin every night, or else I just, like,
Oh, damn.
can't really sleep. Yeah. Thankfully,
Yeah,
melatonin is like a supernatural thing that your body already produces. But I do have to take
right.
like my husband, who's double my size, takes
Mm,
like one 10 milligram pill, but I have to take 20, or else it just
holy
like
smoke.
doesn't work.
Yeah, crazy,
Crazy.
crazy.
ADHD, man.
Yeah, ADHD, like I said, I'll talk about anything. We'll go off on a tangent. That's just kind of the way I format this thing. Because I don't know, I mean, I
Hey, try
personally, I
Plantasia.
just
It's for you. It's made for you.
yeah, it might be, honestly, but then the hyper focus might get in, I'll be like, "Dude, I gotta grow these fucking planes," and then all of a
Hey,
sudden I
there's
realize
like
it's
over 600 to grow. So
oh my gosh, okay. Well, don't I don't wanna get
they take
um
like they literally take 15 to 30 minutes to grow. So you cannot um like
Sync.
hyperfixate on
You
it
can't
too much.
sync in
Yeah,
it.
because
Yeah.
there are literally times where you cannot do anything in the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's on purpose.
Yeah, intentional, yes.
And
I mean, it is a really unique like I said, when I first saw it, obviously, Vaughn, told me to reach out to you, which
right.
you
Yes.
know Vaughn? Yeah.
It's true, I am,
And,
yeah.
he was like, "Yo, you should totally reach out to her." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll reach out to her." And it's funny because I did it on my
He's
LinkedIn,
great.
which you're just like, "What is this IT guy reaching out to me? Who is this guy?"
Oh
I
my
haven't
god, so many
changed a single
people
thing on it.
never even crossed my mind. I get so many people who reach out all the time. I'm on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my job.
Oh,
I'm on
got it.
LinkedIn like 6 hours a day. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm actually really behind on my DMs right now because again, I'm moving to New Zealand. It's a lot. But no, I love doing talks like these. I try to do as many as I can, honestly. And I try to like talk about different things each time, which is hard. And so I always
Right.
end up repeating things like about Plantasia or about how I got into games and stuff, and that's fine. But I
Yeah.
love talking about like different things. So I'm
Yeah.
glad we're doing this. Yeah, it's a good time.
For sure, for sure. So I wanna yeah, and so I wanna kinda go, like, over, like, some of your questions as far as just, like, balancing, like, a little bit of when you kinda run into, like, headwind with your team as far as direction on what to do and things like that, and, speaking personally, I'm having, like, a huge argument with me and my team, and so, like, what do you do when you try to get through those types of things? Like, and is it like, well, I don't wanna feed you any answers, but, like, what do you kinda
Yeah.
do to try and get through some of those issues to try and make sure you're on track and on time to make sure you're gonna hit the goal at the end of the day?
Well, it's interesting because the goal isn't a deadline, right? I mean, there is a
Mm,
deadline goal, but the main goal is to learn and have the experience. And so that definitely alters how I interact with the team and how serious I get about things.
mm,
Um, but and also we're a volunteer team, which is different as well than a paid team
true.
because if you're paying someone, that's a little bit more juice for you to be like, "Hey, get this done," because I'm paying you.
Yeah.
But we're volunteer, and so I don't have that kind of substantial backing of paying them money. Um, so the
Mm,
goal is really important. But also, I think of us like obviously my team, I'm very lucky. My team trusts me. They like my vision. They are
mhm.
advocates of my vision for the game. Sometimes to a fault where I'm like, actually, no, it's okay. Like, we can do something a little different. Um, and so they have a lot of trust in me. So there have only been a couple of times where I felt like there was some tension. Um,
Mhm,
and I have managed to get over them, and the thing I've learned about leadership, and I think is the main thing that has really translated from my teacher days or skills, job, whatever,
mhm,
um, is I know how to talk to people, in ways that they understand. Because as a
mm,
teacher, there are different learning styles, right? You've heard, and every
mhm,
student is different, and you have to meet them where they're at for them to be
mm,
interested in learning, and be interested in what is going on in class. And I think the same it translates very well to any other aspect of life where communication is really just the main thing that needs to
mhm,
be focused on. Um, and so I meet all my team members where they're at. They all have different goals. They all have different reasons they're on the team and why they're still on the team. And so, I take that into account. If, hey, like whatever this argument is it because it's going against what they're here for?
mm,
How do I, solve that so it does meet their goals? But also, leadership is also swallowing your pride. Like, yeah, you at the end of the day have the final say. Sure, you hold the vision of the game. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's also swallowing your pride and understanding that these people are doing something for you out of
mhm.
the goodness of their heart. And I don't even care if you're paying them money; they are still doing you a favor
Course.
by working for you. And so, there was a time where one of my team members was really going back against me on some feature that I wanted, and I like knew that they weren't super into the idea over the course of the project, but they've never really um were against it this much. And so it was a little
Mm,
shocking to me that I was like, what's going on here? Like, I don't quite understand what's happening. And I was like, you know, I did say, I was like, I'm the final say, like, this is what we're doing. And they didn't like that. And it kind of got a little tension, there. But we ended the conversation and I thought about it. And yeah, I was all kind of worked up and stuff, but I thought about it and I was like, okay, why are they doing this? Like, what
mm,
is the actual problem? And the problem
mm.
yeah, was they didn't like the system, but the real problem was that because there was a personal reason that they didn't like the system. And
Mm,
so I was able to kind of go back to them and have a real honest, open conversation of like, hey, what actually is going on here? Here is where I'm coming from. Where are you coming from? And we were able to work it out really, really well. And they're the best. So there's just no hard feelings left at all because I was able to be like, "All right, let's bring myself down to, like, their
yeah.
level." I know I'm the big bad boss or whatever, and I make the final decision, and yeah, I still want this to be done, but how can I make sure that they feel good about what they're doing, that I
Right.
understand where they are coming from, and just not hold myself so far high above them.
Mm,
We're all equal people at the end of the day, and so everyone has their reasons. And yeah, communication, just truly open and honest communication, is how I've run my team the whole time, and I think that's a huge reason of why we have succeeded and why the team has stuck together voluntarily for over a year and
mm.
been working it consistently every week. Um, and yeah, I treat people like people and communicate. Yeah.
Well, no, I think I really like what you said there, and it's actually ironic. It's so topical with me and my wife because I don't want to digress, but as far as meeting people at their level,
Mhm.
um, I mean, it's relatively something new that I just kind of heard, and then
Mm.
I was like, it kind of like also lit some light bulbs off of my head. I was like, oh shit, that's why whatever XYZ, we're not seeing each other for whatever reason. And so like it kind of lit some light bulbs, and it's just shocking that you literally said verbatim
The
what the
thing.
thing I just kind of learned. And so it's kind of
Hey,
like fucking A, man.
hey,
It's
you came
crazy.
across
So
something. Better late than never.
yeah, man. I'm telling, like I said, I'm 38 and then just stumbling myself into the game industry. So it's like, and you're always learning, like, as just as, like,
Oh yeah,
people and stuff like that, like, it's just always you're should always be learning and growing as a person. I just
absolutely.
very much believe that. No, I love that. That was great. I think, it's hard to swallow your pride sometimes, and it's
It
really
is.
hard, especially when you're building a game with some of your best friends, which I am,
I
and
know it's
some
hard because it can ruin relationships, and that's a bummer. But you don't want it to. Yeah,
uh-huh.
yeah.
Sometimes I wanna pull the knives out and just let them have it.
And the thing is, like, they have to meet you at your level too, It's a
Yeah.
two-way street for sure. You as a leader, I assume, have the most responsibility to do that and to facilitate those conversations and to start those difficult conversations.
Mm,
That is your responsibility. But at the end of the day, they also have to be willing to meet you where you're at and understand your point of view and come to a conclusion, like a compromise, right? So it's on
yeah.
on both people, but it's also mainly the responsibility of the leader to create the environment where they feel safe to do that, safe to
Yeah.
come at you with these concerns. Um, yeah, communication is really important, and the leader specifically. And I work with a lot of indie studios and a lot of junior indie studios. Um, and their whole kind of goal is like, oh, I just want to make this game, which is great, and that's great. But there's a leader involved, and that
Mhm,
leader has a lot of responsibility for the
mhm.
team. And I think that's something that they don't really think about at first because they're like, oh, well, we're all excited about this game. It's going to be great. And like, that's
Mm,
not how it works, man. Like, it's just not going to
yeah.
end up that way. And you need to be able to step into those shoes rather quickly and accept that role rather quickly.
Mhm.
And yeah, do it right.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things about, like, game dev that's so unique to, I think, a lot of different, like, creative outlets is that it's you're kind of managing 2 aspects of you're managing the creative element of building a game, and then you're also managing the business side of building a game, and it's like those 2 things are so
Hate that part.
sometimes, like yeah, they don't wanna work together, like, it just
No.
and it's one of the unique things that I've kind of discovered as far as with gaming is like you at the end of the day you got to either build your studio, sell the game, or you have to have some marketing and business and structure and so many things in place to get this done. But it's such a creative element, and creative people don't like structure a lot of the time.
I hate it. Yeah.
And so as far as building the businesses and things like that, how do you feel you are in that realm of it?
I hate it. I hate the business side. I like don't care about it at all. I'm very money averse, just the way that life did me. I just don't really like money. To me, it's a form of control that I'm not comfortable with.
Mm,
And unfortunately, the entire world revolves around money. So
Mhm.
that's a bit of a bummer. Um, but that's why I feel very grateful to be in this situation that I'm in where I have the freedom to do this creative thing and not really need it to be a functioning business yet.
Mm.
Like, it is a business. We are an LLC. Um, we have contracts, and we're intaking a tiny amount of money from the sales that we make.
Mm.
Um, and that's annoying and not fun. But at the same time, it's not like I'm not like I have bills to pay, like I have salaries to pay, like people are
Mhm.
depending on money that we make. And so the decisions that I make in the studio aren't revolved around that. They're much more free and creative, and I'm very thankful for that. And so I'm
Mhm.
very happy that I have, the first several years of my career in an area where I don't have to really think about money, because that way I
Mhm.
can learn and explore and grow very easily and comfortably. And then once the time comes where I do need to make this a profiting business, I
Mm.
kind of already know a lot and know what I have to do and know, how to do it in a way that I feel
Mhm.
comfortable with and good about. So yeah, it's a very unique, and I'm very lucky to have this situation. It's a very privileged situation to be in, for sure.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and so I'm very happy about that, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's difficult, right, for other new businesses that do need to be making money and paying people. It's hard. And so that's something I try to work with for the partner program, where I work with over 100 other unfunded or self-funded indies. Um,
Mhm.
and it's a learning experience for me. I'm learning from them and how they're running their business and how
Mhm.
they're succeeding or failing in different things. And so I'm learning a lot more about the business side that way. But also I want it to be, a support for the business side. I want, and the creative side, but also the business side. Like, I want to help them with contracts that are really inaccessible and expensive, but also
Mhm.
really important. And so we're working on a project to make contracts more accessible to them. But yeah,
Just
so
have a
I'm kind of
chat GPT do it.
right. Yeah, well, they do. I mean, that's the thing, is, like, we do have studios that have ChatGPT, contracts, and I was actually speaking to a lawyer connection of mine, and he deals a lot with AI, and so he was like, "Yeah, you can get ChatGPT to do a lot of the hard work, but at the end of the day, you still need a real lawyer to look it over,
Yeah, of
and that
course.
costs money, right?"
Yeah.
So, yeah, and ideally you have custom contracts, right? Ideally, you don't have ChatGPT contracts. Uh, Contracts are just so, like, complicated and
Mm.
so specific to everyone's specific situation, and so
Mhm.
ChatGPT just doesn't have the capability to fully understand that if
Right,
the
of
person
course.
writing the prompts is not a lawyer themselves.
Right.
So that's why it's difficult. But yeah, that's the whole thing. So, like, K Bear Games, the Plantasia, the game side is all about creativity and learning about the games
Mhm.
industry and how to make games. But then the partner program side is a learning experience for me about how to run the
Mhm.
business side and how to make things easier on the business side for others, and then in turn for me. So
Yeah.
yeah, business
So
is
is
not my
this
thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's challenging, and that's funny because, like, I've always been creative generally, but, like, business has always been, like, the thing that I've just kind of been doing for the last too long, to be honest, and so,
Mm,
like, it's interesting getting into, like, games and working on games because it's like there's just so many different things that you are so common in business because of just just mindset and like what to do, how to what to expect out of marketing, and just a lot of different things. And so it's like coming into games and working on games and me trying to implement a lot of this knowledge and stuff like that. It's like some things work and some things don't work. Just the marketing pieces itself is like it's marketing in general when it comes to like business compared to like games, it just feels so different. Where in like
interesting.
business, it's
Yeah,
like you're
is
trying to get an
definitely.
action. Yeah, you're trying to get some sort of like call to action, some sort of thing. You're sending it to a very specific audience to make them do a
Yeah,
certain thing. And that way you can, quantify whatever, ROI
yeah.
that you have at the end of it. Where like I feel like with games, it's like you're trying to put out some sort of a story element, like your creative journey, the devlogs, you're showing them the game, it's more emotional and you're trying to get people to also buy into that emotion and then
Yeah.
share the emotion and hopefully it goes viral and then you can kind of have that sort of viral to success. And
Yeah.
it's yeah, those 2, it's really different, like, compared to those 2 different things, and,
It's really
I
different.
find it
I
interesting.
I was interested in marketing like, game marketing in the very beginning of the project, and now I'm not. Now I'm not interested at all. It sucks. It's the
It's
worst. I
hard.
hate
It's
it. It's
wow,
really
fuck, it's
hard.
hard.
It's really hard. It's yeah, not my thing anymore, and I'm definitely absolutely gonna need, like, a biz dev person at some point,
Mm.
because there's just I just don't care. I just don't care about the money. I do not care, and I'm not one to I'm gonna use the word lie, but that's not the right term. But,
Mm,
you say what they wanna hear, right?
mm,
When it comes to business development, and that's just how it works, and that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. Not very good at it, and I'm just not good at it. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at sales, right? I'm not a salesman.
mm.
I'm just can't do it, and so, yeah, biz dev is definitely something I'm gonna need at some point in the future. Hopefully, I can find someone
Yeah.
good when the time is right. Um, and marketing is a little bit easier for me. The emotional side for sure is much
Mm,
easier for me than, like, logic, ethos,
mm.
pathos, logos kinda thing.
Yeah.
Emotional, is definitely the easiest for me, and so marketing's a little bit easier on that side, and that's why I've been fairly good at LinkedIn. Um,
Mhm.
but business sucks, and I'm not built for business. Yeah.
It's tough, that's for sure. Um, I was gonna, bring talk about your game for a second as far as, like, what obviously, you were project lead, like, you were is this, like, your birth this was your birth child, Plantasia was your kinda birth child as far as
Yeah.
the idea, and then so, like, what was your involvement as far as specifically running the game or the project itself?
Yeah, I mean, I was purely a creative director. I didn't really do any, like, hands-on stuff. I have
Mm.
someone for that. I have a narrative designer, game designer, I have programmers, audio, UI, UX, like, everyone I have someone doing something for me. Um,
Mm.
it's great. It's a good time. And then I can just sit back and do the really annoying business stuff. Um, but yeah, I just
That's
had the
so funny.
idea. I just had the idea. I was following Rusty's retirement development
Mm,
months before it came out, and I was really looking forward to the demo because I understood the bottom of the screen thing. I was like, yes, this could work for me. And I was just waiting for the demo to come out to see if it actually delivered, and it
mm,
did. And as soon as that demo came out and I played it, my mind immediately went to a game that I played when I was a child called Plant Tycoon, which I was
mm,
extremely into.
mhm,
Really loved that game, and it was a game about growing plants idly. But the thing is, it took up your whole screen, and the plants
mm,
continued to grow even if the game was not open. So I would
mm,
go to school with healthy plants and come back to dead plants. Um,
mm,
and I hated that, and so I never got very far because I just wasn't able to keep up with that, just with the ADHD in general, and just not being able to check in all the time because I didn't have like a routine and a schedule. Um, and so as soon as I was playing Rusty's Retirement, I said Plant Tycoon could work like this really well. And it
mm.
just kind of got stuck in my head and I just knew it was a good idea. And I think I was right. And so yeah, now we have their love child or whatever, and it's a bottom of the screen plant growing game. The plants can't die and they don't grow when the game is closed. So it is meant to be open on your screen during your whole workday, 6 to 8 hours a day.
Mm,
That it grows with you, that you can see the growth happening on the bottom of your screen, and it does not progress when you're not there. Um, and for me, that was really important. I think, I'm sure there's players out there that would appreciate, especially with our long grow times of 15 to 30 minutes, would appreciate it if the game did progress when you were gone, when it wasn't open. But I don't think that's the point. I think the point is for it to be active on your screen so that it is there for you when you need it. Um, and not like just something you use to grow plants. Like it's supposed to be a
mm.
focus tool. It's supposed to be part of your routine. So yeah, that's where the idea came from. I think it's a good idea. I love Plant Tycoon. I still love Plant Tycoon. It's so old now. The demo on Steam doesn't even like work. But I think it worked really, really well in this kind of format of the bottom of the screen thing. And there's a lot of
Mhm,
games, early 2000s that were trying to be idle games.
mm.
In fact, there's actually another game called Plantasia,
Oh, wow.
from the early 2000s. It's called, Plantasia: A Gardening Delight or something. Um,
Mm,
and I bought it off eBay for like $3. It's, like a
mm,
physical copy. And it's kind of like a merge. It's almost like a pre-idle game merging growing thing. Like I could definitely
Mhm.
see this game on mobile nowadays. Um, and so that kind of genre was existed back then, but the format was wrong.
Got
And
it.
that's why mobile did so well because those games went to mobile. But things like Plant Tycoon now I think can work really well in this now portion of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, idle thing.
And I know you talked a little bit about as far as getting it onto, like, Apple or so is there going to be, like a mobile version? Are you guys thinking of a mobile version of this specifically, or is this pretty much like, get it on
No, I
Mac and
mean,
then we're done?
no, the whole goal of Plantasia was just to be a portfolio project. It initially
Yeah.
was only supposed to be 6 months long, and we just unanimously as a team decided to extend it now to slightly over a year,
Yeah.
development time. But I'm done with it. I love the game, but it has fulfilled its purpose. It has achieved
Mm.
its goal, and I'm ready to work on something new. I'm
Yeah.
sure the team, they have the freedom to continue working on the game after this month ends, and they very well might add, little features here and there if they have the time
Mhm.
and the motivation to do so. They all really love the game that we have created, which is a huge blessing. Um,
Mhm.
but I think an important lesson that I've learned is that it's my first game and it's the studio's first game, and
Yeah.
there's a point where you have to be like, "We're done now, um, and it's time to do something else." I think that's a really
Yeah.
important distinction that a lot of people have difficulty in making because they're like, "Oh, I've been dreaming of this game and I work so hard, I just wanna keep on working on it forever." And I
Yeah.
understand that because I do wanna keep working on Plantasia forever. There's so many such cool things that we could do with it.
Yeah.
But it has fulfilled its purpose.
Mhm.
And so, there's so many things we could do, like put it on mobile, right? Um, or, translate it into a bunch of languages or just have a
Yeah.
bunch more features, stuff like that. And so, maybe, with the whole volunteer rev share situation, it's definitely possible for more things to happen, but it's not going to be my focus and it shouldn't, and I
Yeah.
don't want it to be their focus either. I think
Yeah.
I think we can do something even better next time.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So the project's almost done and it's done. Putting it to
Yeah. I don't know if asked this already, but as far as the partner program, are you acting as if like a pseudo publisher for these smaller studios, or so? How does that function?
No, I think there's definitely some possibility to do that in the future. I've thought about it. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. Um, but no, it's really just a community. It's a community of unfunded and self-funded right now, indies that
Mm.
want to be part, I guess. It started as a way for these volunteer-based teams, who didn't have money that were just starting out, like me, to find
Mhm.
team members because since we went viral, we gathered a lot of devs who wanted to volunteer on my project.
Mm.
But I couldn't fulfill those 800 positions that I suddenly had overnight.
Right.
So I just started inviting other unfunded indies in, and that was really successful to help them recruit from that pool. And it's just grown
Mhm.
from there and become official into the partner program. And so it is a way, ideally or not ideally. First and foremost, I suppose it's a way for uh these indie teams to fill team positions, but also for, juniors or other people to find volunteer positions to expand their portfolio since, juniors are not being hired because they don't have enough experience, but they need to get hired to get experience, a whole loop.
Right.
And so it solves that problem, and that has been really, really successful. And so now we have over 2,900 people in the Discord who have tagged themselves as willing to volunteer, and then over
Wow.
100 studios that are looking. But also because of the success of it, because we have so many studios, the community itself has become really, really amazing just to share knowledge and
Mhm.
experiences, resources, connections, all that fun stuff. And I'm very
Yeah.
lucky to have a very diverse range of studios in the program. We have people like me who are junior, first time people doing this, student teams even. But we also have
Mhm.
20 plus year veteran, uh, you know, founders and ex-AAA employee founders and three-time founders and everywhere in between. So the whole mission of the program is to support each other instead of compete against each other, and that's where the community really comes in, that private chat that we have, and everyone is really awesome with helping
Yeah.
and sharing, and trying to not gatekeep, which is very famous in the industry for that happening. Um, yeah, and just helping learn from each other, from their successes and their failures. Um, and yeah, I get to learn right along with them, right? Because I'm doing this for the first time. So it's not like we're not involved in their business at all. In fact, I have a saying that I say all the time in the program, whereas I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. That's not my business, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, I've learned a lot and I've been successful in what I've been doing. So there are things that I will promote or advise, like, like we were talking about leadership, previously.
Mhm.
And so I'll share what I have learned and I'll try to build a community that aligns with the values that I think are very important, like, sustainability and equity and inclusion and just,
Mhm.
communication, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, so it's a community, it's, I'm not going to tell them how to do their jobs, right? I'm just going to say,
Right.
hey, here's some methods or avenues that might help you, and here's some education, right? Because I'm a teacher, and that really fuels everything I do. So, yeah,
Yeah.
just a way to help.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It's an interesting option that I think a lot of people had no idea. I had no idea until, subsequently I talked to Vaughn and then introduced you to do introduced me to you.
Mhm.
And so it just was
Yeah,
one
he's
of those
great.
things I was like, what, this is a thing? Like this is a different avenue you can actually take,
Mhm.
volunteering and actually getting your name out there, excuse me, your name on a project to basically hopefully if that's your goal to get into a AAA studio or something like that.
Right,
Because
exactly.
but it's interesting as far as just the industry and the dynamic of the direction that I feel like things are going, where I feel like so much momentum is going into the indie direction anyway,
Yeah.
and away from AAA. So, yeah, there was a study or something like that that came out. This is kind of circling back to the marketing a little bit, but like the study from a AAA studio, I'm not exactly sure. But after they'd spent like some millions and millions and millions of dollars on marketing, they basically saw no return on actual like performance. And it's
Mhm.
just one of those crazy things that you just see. One of the other things that are chipping away at in or at I'm sorry, AAA is just like there's just so many things happening to AAA that they just I don't know, they can't get a grip on it, I guess. It's just crumbling beneath their feet.
Yeah, and I talk to every indie team that applies to join the program, and they all kind of echo the same sentiment of, whether they are ex-AAA employees or students, they want to be able to make a game that they enjoy, that they have passion for,
Mm,
and in a way that, feels good to them, and AAA just, like, can't provide that anymore.
mhm,
The teams are too big and they're too isolated, and, it's too volatile of a market. Even if you succeed in your game, you can still get fired.
mm,
And so, why take that risk when instead you could
yeah,
do something that is more fulfilling to you in making your own game and possibly succeed there. And
mhm.
so a lot of them are, doing both at the same time, right? Trying to get a job in the
Okay, yeah.
industry, but also doing this on the side to try to succeed themselves. And the thing is, not all of us are going to succeed. Um, but ideally, with help from the program and from help from each other, that more of us can succeed.
Mm,
And that's the goal at the end of the day, is to get people paid jobs in the industry, whatever that means. If it means getting a AAA job, fine. But if it means, making profit on the first game that you make, that's also great.
mhm,
And I think the route that I have taken with being a junior in the industry and then making my own game, to get that experience, I think is working. As of
mhm.
today, now have 3 of our team members have officially accepted a position within the
That's
industry.
awesome.
Yeah, and they're all like temporary contracts or whatever. I think one is 1 month, one is 6, and 2 are 6-month contracts. Um,
Mhm.
and so they're temporary, but they're paid and they're in the industry, right?
That's
And so that
awesome.
was that was the goal. That was the goal from the very start. So I'm very glad that we're finally succeeding in that.
Yeah,
It took over a year for most of us. So
yeah.
it's
That's
been a
still a
long
short amount
road.
of time. That's a
Yeah.
short amount of time realistic like, in the grand scheme of things. A year for somebody to work on a project and then finally get into what I guess their goal of getting
Mhm.
paid from the industry or getting in the industry and getting paid. That's awesome. I mean, that's
Yeah.
huge. Oh, man. We've gone all over the place.
We have
We've gone all over the place. I think in one form or another, I ended up touching on one of all of your questions or all the answers on the questions or whatever. Um, so I'm not sure if there's anything else that you wanted to specifically talk about, but yeah, I mean, this was
No, I mean, I love just chatting about anything. I love, not repeating myself in a million
yeah,
different podcasts, so I like talking
yeah,
about random stuff like that. No, I mean, for people listening, check
Yeah.
out Plantasia, obviously. Would love if you did that. But also if you're a dev and you're an indie, check out the partner program or just the Cape Bear Games Discord in general. It's a great community overall. Whether you're looking for a job in games or not. Um, follow me on LinkedIn. I say cool things sometimes in posts, maybe. But
Well,
no, I mean, I'm new to the industry and with my teacher background, I feel very compelled to share those experiences that I've learned.
mhm,
But also very compelled to learn from everyone else. I'm a lifelong learner, right? And so I
mhm.
love connecting and talking with people. Unfortunately, with the New Zealand move, I will be out of commission for like 3 months, so I'm
Mm.
gonna be pretty not around, which is a bummer because I already have people being like, "I wanna chat with you." I'm like, "Oh, I really wanna chat with you too, but I cannot. I do not have
Ah,
time, unfortunately."
too bad.
Um, yeah, hit me back up in what, July, August, like September, August or September, and maybe I will be a little bit more free. Hopefully, my PC will have arrived unscathed,
Mm,
in New Zealand, not sunk
good
or
luck.
whatever. Um but yeah, I've been having such a good time in the industry, meeting so many cool people, and everyone is so nice and so helpful. Um,
Mm,
and yeah, indie really is making a comeback, so I'm happy to be in this space.
100%, 100%. Well, this was fun. I enjoyed this. It was great. And,
Thanks for having me.
yeah, of course. No, it was, I'm glad we were able to work things out and
Yes.
get it on here.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited for it to come out as well. I love rewatching these things. It's like my memory's
Mm.
so bad I forget like what we
Yeah,
talked about because I
yeah.
don't like commit it to long-term memory. I'm just like living in the moment.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so I like to
100%.
rewatch them.
Yeah, it's like a cringe little bit of a cringe for me because then I gotta go back and edit it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I look like an
Oh,
idiot."
that's so funny.
But
Yeah. Well, you're editing it. You have to look at every like terrible bad part of it, whereas I just get
yeah.
to look at the finished product. Just like
Yeah, but it all comes together, hopefully. I don't know,
yeah,
we'll see. Maybe this thing blows up. Maybe I find something else to
someday
do.
we did a great time. Yeah, we did fantastic. Of
Yeah. Right on. Well, thank you. Thank you again for being
course.
here.
Yeah, thanks.